Schoolmates, muli ninyo ako makakasama sa isa na naman talakayan na kapupulutan ng aral at for sure akong makaka-relate kayo. At para maging updated, make sure na tumutok kayo sa aming episode tonight and get ready to hear our guests' unpopular opinions sa ating mga school or non-school related topics at for sure ang pop topic lamang na inyong mapapanood dito lang sa Schoolmates.
Isigaw ang tinig mo, ihayag sa buong mundo ang karapatan, kalayaan. Buksan ang isip mo, kaalaman ang yaman mo, karapatan, kalayaan.
Schoolmates, I'm sure karamihan sa inyo ay nakakasunod sa pop culture. Ito yung mga bagay, tao, paniniwala, or kung ano pa man yung mga activities na nauuso or tinatawag nga nating trending. At syempre, napapanahon. Right now, ilan sa mga gumagawa ng ingay sa mundo ng pop ay si Taylor Swift o yung mga fans niya na tinatawag nating Swifties. And of course, ang Hallyu or Korean Wave. Pero bakit nga ba tinatangkilik ng karamihan, lalo na ng mga kabataan, ang pop culture? At ano nga ba ang naidudulot nito sa kanila? Ating alamin ang mga kasagutan sa mga tanong na iyan kasama si Sir Renel or Nel, isang MAPE teacher, art club advisor at syempre local pop fan. Syempre narito rin ang ating mga Gen Z guest na si Darl, isang inspired musician, at Cheska na isang K-pop stan. Okay guys, hello, welcome to our show. Nakasama niyo si Big Brother. Wow! Ibang show pala, guys. So, syempre, di ba, ang energy natin today is about pop culture. So, it's giving pop, drop, and make it. Joke lang. Ayan. So, I'm popping jokes left and right kasama ng bosses kong nagpa-pop right now. Pero, syempre, for you guys, we're talking about pop culture. Can you define, ano ba sa inyo ang meaning ng pop culture? It's not something new, pero parang mas ngayon nabibigyan na siya ng ibang meaning, especially with the rise of social media. Pop psychology, pop everything trending is called pop culture. So, simulan muna natin kay Nel. Anong definition mo?
Because of the mass media. So, mas nag-iiba or hindi naman siguro nag-iiba, nadadagdag lang siya ng definition at ng ibig sabihin. And like for example, we have television lang, meron lang tayong radio. Ngayon, we have social media. It has a lot on wide coverage, no? And yung mga nakikita nating mga art forms like sa fashion, sa music, yan. So when you say pop culture, it's something like uso, trend, so that's the pop culture.
So it's really time-bound talaga, no? When you say
Yes.
pop culture, whatever is hot at the moment, that's what we call pop culture. So, paano nyo naman masasabi na ang isang bagay classifies as pop culture? Siguro, from the mind naman of the Gen Zs naman natin. Siyempre, Gen Z pa rin naman si Sir Nel, di ba? It's giving, di ba, yun. It's giving youth. Wow! Youth. So, kayo naman, Darl, and siyempre, Cheska, what defines as pop culture sa inyo?
For me, pop culture, aside from din sinabi ni Sir Nel, pop culture is what mainstream or yun na-reach siya ng masa and kung ano yung nakikita natin in social media. And since lumawak nga rin yung forms of social media, mas na-amplify or mas nagkaroon ng platform yung mga content to produce or to para ma-air yung mga content nila. So that's what pop culture is for me.
So really, it's time-bound, and ngayon, we're hearing it from you na it's numbers-based. So where the majority is, it's pop culture. Okay, so from kanina na nabanggit ko na Hallyu Wave, ayan, si mga Swifties natin. Punta naman tayo kay Darl. Darl as an inspiring music. Yon. So, ikaw naman, Darl, ano sa tingin mo yung what classifies as pop culture in music? And parang paano ka, kumbaga, na humaling dito?
Well, pop culture and music, no? Parang all of us naman have grown with listening to different musicians, no? Tapos the musicians have grown alongside us. So for example, Taylor Swift or back then, I remember Avril Lavigne, like mga ganon. Yeah. Pero it changes over time, like they said, no? Tapos now that we have the internet, there's so much more it has to offer for us. So, before, all of the influences na we take in just come from TV or the radio, and now you can choose na what you want to be influenced by. So, ayun, the whole world basically is at your fingertips. So when it comes to music naman, basically it's a choose your own adventure, no? So you can be influenced by anything you like.
So time-based, number, and ito naman medium. Kung sa social media mo siya napanood, sa mainstream. So, ang common denominator here is that everyone's into it, diba? So, if you, siguro balik tayo kay Nel, no? Why do you think people love pop culture, or how do they become influenced by it?
I think, Trisha, it's something to do with the connection. Yung mas nakaka-relate sila dun sa, for example, the artist. Yung sabi nga natin kanina, na pinag-usapan natin off-cam kanina, yung life nila. So, napapanood natin sila over, for example, YouTube, no? So, nakaka-relate yung mga tao dun sa kanilang mga activities on social media. And that's why I think yun kaya medyo ang mga tao na ano sa pop culture.
So, when we talk about relatability, ito, balik ako kay Cheska. Siyempre, round robin tayo, guys. Mamaya shuffle tayo. So, sa tingin nyo, with the influence of pop culture in your lives, ano yung naging contribution nito? Is it something good, or maybe you can share with us something na personal as to why pop culture has such an effect on you guys?
Right. So as a Gen Z, the pinnacle of Gen Z, and I am someone that really easily influenced by what I consume, and I mostly consume pop media rin. It has changed my lifestyle and my perspective. So I'm a K-pop fan kasi. I was a K-pop fan since 2009. And since then, parang yung pananamit ko, music taste ko, even yung food taste ko, naka-shape siya around K-pop. And pati na rin sa mga future media na gusto kong i-consume, there's this certain standard that K-pop has instilled in me. So lagi ko siyang hinahanap when it comes to the next music that I'm gonna listen to, the next movie that I'm gonna watch, or the next food that I'm gonna try.
So there's always that touch na, Chucks, I've always been a fan of this, and therefore in the next, kumbaga in terms of trends, yun yung medyo mas hinahanap or panlasa mo pa rin, no? So, do you think ba na, siguro Cheska or Dar, I'll ask you next, no? In terms of effects on you, bukod sa food, in terms of the music that you're also listening to, was there any negative effect ba on you? Since sobrang feeling ko, no, with this generation, sobrang addict tayo sa K-pop, K-drama, consume everything K, diba? So, ikaw, anong tingin mo doon?
This is quite controversial, but I do believe that everything should be in moderation, and everything na sumusobra, nakakasama siya.
Okay.
And umabot sa point na super na-addict talaga ako. Like, I was in the Hallyu wave. I was riding that wave at its top. Umabot sa point na naging desperate ako na maka-secure ng ticket for a concert. And then, I was scammed.
Oh no!
Ayun!
Kasama siya doon sa mga nasa Twitter na,
Yes.
Shocks guys!
Yes! Actually, nasa pin tweet ko siya, tapos pinakalat ko rin siya, guys, please retweet, beware of this, ano. Pero, that was a learning experience for me. And hopefully, ayun,
Sana hindi na maulit for you.
Sana hindi na maulit
next
sa
concert mo.
akin. Hindi, nakasecure naman na ako, thankfully. Hindi, pero ayun nga, during that time, grabe yung feeling of desperation ko to really be included in the concert, to be part of the experience, na I was willing to, patulan ko na kahit na
kahit
very questionable siya. Parang meron pa rin sa akin na benefit of it. Gusto ko pa rin bigyan ng benefit of the doubt na what if it's totoo pala yung ticket. So, that was a hard time.
Iba
as a
kapag
K-pop
die-hard fan ka, no? So,
Yeah.
pero siguro I'll ask this naman to Dar din, no? So, thanks so much at sana natuto yung mga schoolmates natin. Guys, huwag kayong, if it's too
Hopefully.
good to be true,
Yeah.
don't. So, syempre, to add to that, I think lang din, no? Marami din sa mga sobrang na-hook sa K-pop culture, yung umiba rin yung standards nila sa mga jowa, sa mga partner. Alam niyo yan, sa mga
Yes.
schools, di ba? Gusto niyo yung love story niyo medyo influenced by K-drama na napanood ninyo, kaka-Wattpad mo. Yung, di ba, in the
AU,
previous
kaka-AU.
generation, it's the kaka-Wattpad mo. But ikaw naman, Dar, positive and negative effects of pop culture in your life.
Well, kasi things trend for a reason, no? So, the public views it as something bad or something good. That's why it becomes popular. And then, ayun, it's up to us to, like Cheska said, parang everything is in moderation. So, it's up to us if we view it personally as a good thing or as a bad thing. So, of course, kasi impressionable. We're still quite young, and I would say impressionable pa rin ako despite like having graduated. So, I can definitely say na it's affected, pop culture has affected the way I dress, the way I talk, yung slang namin with my group of friends.
Yeah.
Ayun.
So even like in terms of the way we dress, no, I think I should talk to you guys more about this in terms of parang paminsan pakiramdam daw ng ibang bansa, we copy them more, then we are more proud of ourselves. So I think it's one of the points na we're trying to drive here in this discussion na since pop culture is so much dependent on the stuff we consume, sometimes we try to copy more of those rather than making us realize that, hey, maybe we can set a trend of our own,
Yes,
di ba?
identity natin.
Right. So, actually, Nell, before we get into our break, no, what are the prime examples wherein pop culture has parang affected the way we see Filipino culture naman?
For example, yung pagiging fandom nga ng mga Filipino people, no? So, yung pagiging fanatic natin sa mga celebrities na talagang yung iba talagang sabi nga ni Cheska, no, talagang gumagastos talaga sila for a concert, ayan, and ano sila na medyo na-frustrate or nasasad kapag na-scam. So at nagiging careless sila sa so I think that could be also yung para sa akin yung pagiging fandom nila, that could be a reason why.
Siguro more on it later no, when we talk about Swifties naman, because like I really wanna know your thoughts about how pop culture could probably made Taylor Swift like a cult idol of some sort, no? Pero guys, more on that. So mga Swifties, mga K-pop stans dyan, stay in tune because lahat ng yan ay pag-uusapan natin sa pagbabalik lamang ng Schoolmates!
I started out with, of all things, hourly news in Tagalog, of course. And you have to make your spiels interesting, no? Then from there, I went to Pangunahing Balita. I was doing Tagalog, and then I ended up doing English news already.
I am Eric Ospina. Tonight, we bring into focus a problem that has captured the world's interest.
And then I had Saturday, or was it Sunday news, 45 minutes solo. The greatest experiences that I had with Channel 4 was how to interview 7 people in 1 hour. You have to be on top of your game, fleet-footed, agile-minded. I was able to work with all sorts of people, getting to know their stories. You must improve yourself, kasi if you improve yourself, you improve your audience. Tandaan nyo yan, ha? Pag ginalingan nyo yung sarili nyo, gagaling din yung mga taong nanonood sa inyo. Ang PTV din nagbigay sa akin ng mga maraming pintuan at bintana. Ako si Eric Espina at ito ang aking kwentong PTV.
Subaybayan ang sagupaan ng pinakamagagaling na koponan mula sa Northern Luzon for the on-site qualifier semifinals. Gamer Pack Esports versus LSB Sharks Delta. Tuloy ang bakbakan ngayong Biyernes alas 7 ng gabi. Dito lang sa Unity League Mobile Legends Bang Bang National Tournament. Mapapanood sa PTV, IBC at Congress TV Channel. Sa the best of Pinoy Pawn Stars ngayong Biyernes.
Magkano ang asking
Piling ko ako si Catherine Bernardo.
Bali Bastoyo. Asking ko dito 6.5.
isa sa mga pinakaunang sports car nila.
Pinakaunang sports
Parang
car.
share sila.
Catherine? So, ni Catherine. Oh, kaya bininta. Baga.
You know, Daniel Padilla, Catherine Bernardo. Nakapo din si Catherine Bernardo. Feeling Catherine Bernardo ako niyan.
The best of Pinoy Pawn Stars. Biyernes, alas 5:15 ng hapon. Dito lang sa inyong pambansang TV. PTV. Disaster Watch. Mga paalala habang lumilindol. Kapag lumilindol, mag-duck, cover, and hold. Maging mahinahon at humanap ng matibay na bagay na magsisilbing panangga sa posibleng pagbagsak ng debris. Magtago at protektahan ang sarili. Kumapit ng mahigpit at hintayin matapos ang pagyanig. Lumayo sa mga salamin at bintana. Kapag nasa labas ng tahanan o gusali, umiwas sa mga poste, puno at mga landslide-prone areas. Kung nasa sasakyan, huminto at tumabi sa isang ligtas na lugar. Sa panahon ng sakuna, dapat laging listo.
Pagsiservisyo dapat ay matapat, mabilis at kapaki-pakinabang. Makadevelop talaga ng mga tinatawag natin na quality, remunerative at saka sustainable na mga job opportunities para sa ating mga manggagawa.
Ito ang in-person.
We're back, schoolmates, at kanina ibinahagi nga sa atin ng ating mga guests na si Nell, Darl, and Cheska. Ayan. No, so, iba yung tinignan ko. So, tinitignan ko lang if they're still paying attention. Wow! But anyway, so guys, thank you so much again for sharing your experiences and ano yung alam nyo about pop culture. So now let's get into the meat of the discussion. So, we've talked about possible effects sa inyo of pop culture. But do you think that at some point there is a way na pop culture affects the way Gen Zs are taking their emotional or mental health? Or is there also a way na parang they shift their narrative of how they want to be perceived by other generations because of pop culture? Siguro balik mo na ako kay Nell.
Chris, pag halimbawa yung mga idol nila or mga celebrity nababash, parang affected din sila doon sa pinagdadaanan nung ina-idol nila. I don't know how it's idol ang tawag ngayon. Parang 90s pa yata yung idol. Hala, lumalabas yung mga idol ko yan. Pero yung ano nila, yung reaction din nila, parang nalulungkot sila. Bakit ganito? Bakit yung ginaganito yung mga idols namin? So, emotionally, so it affects them. Yeah. So, yun yung medyo na negative na effect nun in terms of mental and emotional sa mga young generation.
So, when we talk about parang kumbaga shifting of perspective naman or the way how the Gen Zs perceive themselves or how they want to be expressed, how they want to express themselves. Do you think pop culture also has a touch onto it? For example, yung mga Swifties, di ba? Kapag binash mo si Taylor Swift, lumalabas lahat ng mga underlying social issues like feminism, the way they feel about the social issues. How do you think parang Gen Zs are getting triggered? Let's use that word now, triggered by pop culture.
Naku, grabe yung kanilang trigger. Sabi nila, huwag mo akong trigger So talagang lalo na ngayon, yung meron silang avenue to express their thoughts and paano nila ididepensa ang kanilang mga idols or mga, like for example, mga Swifties, no? We have the Twitter or the X, we have the Facebook. So, mas lumawak yung kanilang avenue para mas mabigyan nila ng pagtatanggol yung kanilang mga idols para sa mga celebrities.
Right. So, balikan kita, Nel, no? So, I wanna go back to you guys, so Darl and Cheska. In terms of behavioral or psychological effects of pop culture, have you seen a first-hand experience from your friends na they shifted the way they behave or interacted with people because they followed so much, for example, Taylor Swift or for example, K-pop idols, like iba yung standards or whatever. Kayo, Cheska.
Yes. Actually, ako po, ganun ako. Hindi, I changed my personality based on what content I'm consuming. Hindi. Pero yes, I can see that sa peer group ko, specifically. And sa generation namin, Gen Z are very vulnerable nga to the content that we are consuming since internet is our life. It's normal to us na mag-scroll every day. It's part of our daily lives na. So lahat ng nako-consume namin, we have this, we are very susceptible to integrate it sa daily lives namin. And pansin ko lang din on the K-pop side, since I'm part of the community, we have this phenomenon called parasocial relationships, wherein yung mga K-pop stans, since yung pag-market kasi sa K-pop idols, very relatable sila, they seem attainable to the fans, na parang I can form a relationship with him in my head. So, in a way, parang are you really a K-pop fan if you're not delusional? Ayun. So, parang may form of delusion na
boyfriend kasi ganito.
Like me, boyfriend kasi Jenna Lee. Ayun, pero yun nga yung kagaya nga nang na-mention earlier na sa mga nakakonsume din kasi na Wattpad, fanfiction, alternative universe, it changes the way, it changes the perception and the thinking and behavior of my fellow K-pop stans. But not all. Huwag na cancel.
Yung iba naman, parang...
yung iba lang.
Yung iba lang. But name drop.
Majority of us, huwag kayong mag-deny. Lahat tayo dalulu.
So, comment na lang po sa mga hindi nag-a-agree sa akin.
Hashtag na lang.
Yes. DM na lang, guys. But anyway, thanks, no, Cheska. And I think it's also important to note na itong mga phenomenons na nangyayari sa inyo, it's largely because of how pop culture is being marketed, diba? It's targeting a specific idea. For example, like how relatability means also loss of boundaries for the idols, diba? It could also be like, or also it could be divisive kasi kapag iba kayo ng stan or iba yung perception mo dun sa stan ng isa, parang hindi naman yun pogi, diba? Nagka-clash, no? So different opinions on regarding pop culture, at least who do you idolize is also something na hindi naman siguro parasitic, no? Or maybe you can prove me wrong, no, Nel? Ikaw naman, Darl, in terms of music, syempre iba rin yung parang perception ng Gen Zs doon when it comes to pop culture and how it affects them. Pero ikaw personally, do you notice your friends or having a different kind of relationship with other people because of what you consume in pop culture?
Like what was mentioned earlier about parasocial relationships.
So that's also, it's also something
very
you
much
notice.
existent like sa indie music scene. There are so many people na may madidiscover silang certain band and then they start acting a different way, ganon. So I think it's kind of the same, no? Kasi parang you start to identify with who you listen to, who you idolize, kasi literal like idol mo in a way. Like pagka you identify so much with the music. For example, like we mentioned kanina si Taylor Swift. So there are lots of Swifties na grew up with her, tapos every heartbreak niya, baka nakipag-break din sila or something. So they,
naging kwento din nila yun.
So they feel a certain connection na parang she understands us, pero in reality, we're so far away from her and she doesn't know you exist. So I get it naman why people defend their idols. Syempre kasi yun nga, you've been through a lot with them. Pero there's a limit din to your connection.
I love the self-awareness in this episode. It's giving, I know I'm the Lulu, but then I don't want to admit it. I just know, but I don't want to act on it.
Parang iba kasi din yung yung parang naibibigay na happiness ng pagiging fan, no?
Oo. Tsaka you kind of feel like you're heard or like someone's living their dream life.
Yes.
Like you're living your dream life through them.
Exactly.
So I want to get back from emotional and mental and siguro psychological effect on Gen Zs. In terms of industries or societies, how do you think na parang pop culture has shaped the way things are now? Nel, ikaw?
Lalo na ngayon na parang, lalo yung mga songs natin ngayon, yung mga styles natin ngayon, so nakadepende sa kung ano yung ano ba yung hit, sabi mo kanina, yung parang ano ba yung
Hot topic
hot
right
topic na kung saan mas talked about ng mga Gen Z. Parang sila kasi medyo social, yung sa social media, very active sila doon, very engaged sila sa social media.
Right.
So parang itong mga industry natin, ito yung gusto ng market, the serve market. So ito yung i-shape up natin, ito yung ipoproduce natin.
Right,
Now we have, dati naman wala yung mga P-pop, no? Ng mga kaano natin.
Right.
We only have the boy bands,
the matinee idols.
yes. The matinee idols. Ngayon, ano bang tawag sa mga matinee idols ngayon?
Ang mga opa.
Opa!
Opa.
Korean pa rin, influence pa rin, no? So yun, nagkakaroon sila ng kailangang i-connect natin sa kung ano yung market ngayon. So I think in terms of the industry.
Right. Even like countries even begged Taylor Swift, according to some media outlets, no, na parang to have a concert with them because it shapes, the nation's budget for some reason for that month, diba? And I guess in some way, Gen Zs are becoming a formidable force for customers for different markets. Skincare, aesthetic, everything,
Hair
diba?
colors.
Yes, influencers all left and right, no? But then, now let's shift naman, no, to in connection to your pop culture and pop icons. So, ano sa tingin nyo naman yung possible effect? Ito, medyo haka-haka lang natin, di ba? I do know that there is already a course being made or actually, if not being taught already, on Taylor Swift. Do you think it's something worth being explored into or something na parang, hindi, another effect lang siya of pop culture kaya natin siya pinag-aaralan ngayon?
Kasi yung sa isang university, no, na mag-o-offer, I think nag-o-offer na si I don't exactly. And parang kasi based on what I have read dun sa kanilang course syllabus or curriculum, parang they want to to enlighten. Ano ba yung bakit yung pagiging fandom ng mga Pinoy sa mga celebrities or mga idols nila? Bakit for example, I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift, but I appreciate the songs and ang ganda-ganda ni Taylor Swift. Parang ganun. Pero for example, bakit sila nagkakandara pa dun sa magagastos sila ng thousands of money to for a concert and nagpa-flight sila from one country to another? Yung question na ako, for example, bakit sila gumagastos ng ganun kalaki? So parang ang gusto ng course siguro, maintindihan yung relationship ng fan dun sa celebrity. Yan. So parang kasi nga, tayo nga ay isang bansa na mahilig talaga tayong mag-idolize ng Western and Asian.
Yeah.
Actually, yung sinabi mo kanina about us trying to figure out why people, or specifically medyo Filipino craze naman talaga kasi yung nangyari kay Taylor Swift, no? Finding out why we're so obsessed over our pop culture icons. You really think na in terms of making a course out of it, is that something worth studying about? Nell, siguro Darl and Cheska also. Tingin nyo ba? Is it a yes or a no?
For me, wala namang masama siguro. Kasi marami din naman mga Pinoy ang into, not necessarily Taylor Swift, no? So dahil nga yung culture natin is we are very fandom, no? Parang country na mahilig talaga na may mga fans ka o mga fans, no? Parang sa akin wala namang masama, no? Kaya nga lang we have to focus on what is really the main objective. It will help talaga na mawala yung stereotypes, mawala yung mga barriers and misconception about the pop culture. Kung mabibigay ito ng magandang impression, lalo na sa ating mga young generations, so why not?
And it could also give them like a mental barrier of sorts to know if there is an overuse.
Yes, we limit.
Yes, no. So let's get to the next question, if ever, no. So this one I would direct to Darl and Cheska. Do you think that in our generation right now, there is an overuse in pop culture? Is it being, let's say, being weaponized to introduce a new idea? Tingin nyo ba that's something happening as a norm sa inyo?
I I would agree na it is happening. Although baka hindi lang tayo aware na we have been victimized or we have experienced it firsthand. Pero I believe na kung gaano kasi ka-powerful yung social media ngayon, yung mga trends and using trends and also pop culture, hindi malayo na it can also be used to push for certain agendas. So I believe na, yeah, I agree na it can be happening.
No, so ikaw naman, Dar, tingin mo ba, do you agree with what she says? Or do you feel na, no, I think we're just reading too much into it? Tingin mo ba?
It's probably not like yung pop culture itself kasi it's always gonna be there, no? It's what's popular, like the content itself. So, that depends talaga eh. Boring answer pero it depends on who views it. So for example, for the youth na very impressionable, it can be damaging, especially if it's too much. Parang you kind of get dictated like kung ano yung personality mo dapat, kung ano yung views mo dapat. But then for older people, we have more control over ourselves. So I would say na very possible actually, pero it's in the contents, in the meat, no?
Correct.
What's popular.
Kasi pop is popular culture. So where the masses go, that's where I guess where the money is, where the good ideas are, where everything is. But siguro now, let's focus on guardrails, di ba? So how do we equip ourselves o yung mga kabataan, yung mga schoolmates natin to be less susceptible, I guess. So we were talking about negative aspects kanina of pop culture. How do we monitor, sa tingin nyo, yung trends na nangyayari right now in mass culture so that we avoid getting influenced to the wrong side? So, siguro, Nel?
Siguro, Trisha, mahalaga pa rin yung kasi yung social media, talagang unfiltered yan. So anyone can be accessible to social media. Even the younger than this guest, no, our guest for today, na talagang meron silang accounts. No? Siguro mahalaga yung role ng mga adults. Mahalaga yung role ng mga parents. And also, as a teacher, to my students, no, ang hawak natin is mga minors, so mga bagets kung tawagin. No? Parang, we are here to educate them, to at least, sabi nga kanina, regulate, moderate the use of social media. And we should teach our students what to choose to watch or to engage with.
Yeah.
Like for example, lalo na sa social media, ang dami ng mga vloggers, influencers kung tawagin, di ba? Then the word influencers, so ibig sabihin, they have the power. They have all the access to influence the young generation. Siguro yung the guidance of the parents, the teachers, and the people around, makakatulong yon yung role ng mga magulang para magabayan ang kanilang mga anak sa paggamit, lalo-lalo ng social media.
Right. It goes two ways, no? Kasi even the parents also consume what's in pop culture. So it's very important na we safeguard ourselves by making us be more informed. Ano ba yung tama or mali, no? But then, sa inyo naman, Cheska and Darl, sa tingin nyo, as the consumers of this kind of culture, how do you regulate yourself? And or siguro call out another person na, hey, that's wrong. It doesn't mean that everyone's doing it. Doesn't mean it's right.
Tough question. Tough question. Siguro, I touched some grass. I
love it. I touched some grass.
Time to touch some grass, guys. Ayun. Siguro, whenever I get too immersed sa content na kinokonsume ko na, napapansin ko na masyado na ako na-affect personally. Like, hindi naman ako yung kasama sa issue, pero bakit parang na-apektuhan ako.
Invested kasi.
Yeah, so invested. Ganon. So, siguro, the way I regulate myself personally, I stop from, ayun, bababa ko lang yung phone ko and literally just go outside, hang out with real life people in my life and, you know, form real connection, genuine connection with them. And then kapag feel ko na sa tamang headspace na ako ulit to consume media, siguro dun na lang din ulit ako mag-scroll sa phone ko.
Kumbaga, no, parang shifting your perspective also, no? So between reality and digital. Yeah. So ikaw, Darl, how do you do it naman?
I remember nung pandemic, it was so difficult to self-regulate kasi there was nothing to do, no? Pero I've noticed now na we're outside again, na it's not it's easier to regulate, especially since, like you said, na shift in perspective, no? So for example, napapansin mo na consume ka na lang ng consume, no? So what you like to consume, maybe you want to try creating. So for example, you like to see mga travel vlogs, ganon, or mga TikToks about different places, no? Why don't you go see the places?
Right.
Or create. Yun. For me, I love consuming music, pero I try my best to force myself even to make music din, para lang to keep myself parang mentally healthy, ganon. Ayun. So live life, actually.
Yeah.
I love it kasi that's something that we don't hear from others. And kumbaga tayo, as consumers, it's not top of our mind to create or to balance the majority, di ba? Parang it's also voicing out an unpopular opinion or to call out something is a way also to check and kumbaga balance the popular culture, di ba? So, guys, tutok lamang kayo dahil tuloy pa rin ang aming talakayan sa pagbabalik lamang ng Schoolmates!
Health Watch, alertong pangkalusugan. Mga paalalang pangkalusugan laban sa leptospirosis. Ang leptospirosis ay sakit na dulot ng leptospira bacteria mula sa ihi ng infected na mga hayop. Naipapasa ito sa pamamagitan ng pagtalsik ng kontaminadong tubig sa mata, ilong at bibig, sa kontaminadong pagkain at inumin, at paglusong sa maruming tubig habang may bukas na sugat. Kabilang sa sintomas ng leptospirosis ang lagnat, panginginig, pananakit ng katawan, sakit ng ulo, pamamantal, pamumula ng mata, paninilaw ng balat, at diarrhea. Kung hindi maagapan, maaari itong makapinsala sa bato, utak at atay. Agad kumonsulta sa inyong doktor o sa malapit na health facility kung makaramdam ng sintomas. Para makaiwas sa leptospirosis, iwasang lumusong sa maduming tubig o baha. Gumamit ng bota at gloves kung kinakailangan. Maligo at magsabon agad kung nababad sa maduming tubig. Siguraduhing malinis ang inumin. Panatilihing malinis ang bahay at kapaligiran at ugaliin ang tamang pagtatapon ng basura. Tandaan, sa panahon ng sakit, dapat laging listo. Tara, lumikha! Sa susunod nating pagkikita, gagawa tayo ng Dove Paper Masks na babagay sa nalalapit na araw ng kalayaan.
Talagang maalala natin ang kasarinlan ng Pilipinas.
Wow, ganda! Ganda po kay Joseph.
Gamit ang iba't ibang hand poses at vowels, marami na tayong pwedeng maiguhit. File organizer na gawa sa recycled box naman ang ating gagawin para matulungan kayo mag-organize ng art materials.
Ayan. Pwede rin notebook.
Sining ang magniningning dito sa Artsy Craftsy. Sabado, alas 10:30 ng umaga, dito lang sa inyong People's Television.
Ako si Noel Talakay from the province of Leyte. Ang kwentong PTV ko po, ang hindi ako nakaranas ng diskriminasyon dito sa PTV. In spite na loud ako sa aking gender na miyembro ng LGBTQIA+, pinagkakatiwalaan pa rin nila ako na makagawa ng storya at makapag-deliver ng mga news. Pinapadala nila ako sa mga disaster at kung ano-ano pa ang mga coverage hanggang sa mga maliliit na coverage. At hinahayaan nila ako na makagawa ng storya na talagang makabuluhan naman para sa bayan.
Magaling ka na artista, magaling ka na politiko, magaling ka pa rin na negosyante.
Hindi. Maraming stumbling blocks. But you will learn from that.
Isko Moreno Dumagoso, aka Orme, after retiring from politics, is now focusing on his family and business.
Wala nang maraming dahilan.
Ano ang iyong pinagkakaabalahan ngayon?
Nagbukas na yung aming isang small food business, yung Ugbo 24/7. aming trabahong na-create do sa isang social na area, BGC.
So may ugbo na sa BGC.
Yes.
Do you have any background about business?
That time, wala namang mga Google, yung mga kwento ng mga negosyante.
So totoo, nakakatulong na makipag-usap ka sa mga successful na tao.
Of course, hindi mo naman pwedeng alamin ng lahat. There's no monopoly of knowledge.
Tuwing may gagawin ka, nagiging world class, nagiging excellent, nagiging top of the line.
It's a copy business eh.
So kailangan magaling ka mangopya.
Mangongopya ka sa mga taong may patunay na.
Linggo, alas 5:15 ng hapon.
Nagbabalik ang Schoolmates at kasama ko pa rin dito sina Dar, Cheska, and Nell. So, now guys, since meron tayong napag-uusapan na existing pressure of keeping up naman with the trends or the popular culture no, na nauuso ngayon sa mga kabataan, even sa mga older generations, it's highly contagious. Do you feel na the existing pressure is something that is there to stay? Or is it something that you can easily diffuse with the things you've mentioned earlier? So, back to you, Dar.
Ganun naman. Like I said, I like to keep up actually because I actually enjoy consuming pop culture, especially as Pinoys. I just find na ang funny ng mga nagtitrend sa atin lagi. So I enjoy keeping up. Like sometimes I ask my friends, ano to? Like anong meron dito?
Anong trip nito?
Like bakit funny to? Hindi ko gets ganun. Also kasi I guess Gen Z is growing up na rin, so we have jobs na and stuff.
Yeah.
So, hindi naman siya pressure. I guess for younger people kasi it's cool to know what's in and out, diba? So, for me, in my age.
Age drop, ano yan?
Ayun, it's not really a pressure, pero I find na something I like to do when I have free time, ayun.
Just to keep yourself sane, no? Like, to keep my last two brain cells
Keep
sane.
myself cultured.
I love it, cultured. Ikaw naman, Chess.
I think yung not really pressure or siguro yung wave ng pop culture is here to stay. Lalo na nga na sa pagdaan din ng panahon, mas nag-i-innovate, mas maraming innovation, mas yumayabong. Yabong?
Yumayabong? I love, lumalalim kasi.
Yumayabong din yung ating technology. So I think yung mga content na napaproduce, media content na na-air out, is mag-ano lang din siya, mag-evolve lang din siya na mag-evolve. And syempre, me as a media consumer, na this is part of my life na rin. And although hindi na ako ganun ka siguro immersed as I was before when I was younger. When I was
age drop nyo, sabihin.
Pero syempre, yung generation after us is also growing and mas sila naman yung nagpipick up, nagkikreate and then nagiging immersed. So I think it's here to stay.
So, ikaw naman, Nell, as someone that you've seen the changes that everyone has went through, what do you think about it?
Parang ano lang siya, here to stay, but sabi nga ng ating mga kasamahan na Gen Z Europe, parang nade-develop lang siya. May natatagdag, may na-innovate, kasi parang ngayon, parang lagi tayo nasa testing the water, no? Pero yung pressure ng pop culture, kahit pa noon pa, nandito na yun nade-develop lang siya. So, na-evolve lang siya, na-improve. Yan. And siguro yung pressure, parang sila, no, I don't feel the pressure. Parang, it's not one way of parang, halimbawa sa school, parang ano din, kahit teacher kami, parang we have to engage in social media. Kasi we have to know yung activities ng mga bata.
What makes you guys relatable also for the students?
Pag tayo mo sa classroom, dapat alam mo yung pinag-uusapan nila. So, parang yun naman yung pressure na kailangan kong mag-keep up. Para alam ko yung, naiintindihan ko sila. So I want to understand them based on yung activities nila sa social media and everything.
So, we can see here na parang it's a way to connect, but it's also possible a way to divide. Kasi it could be a way for misinformation, for other agendas to creep in. So it's very important na we're aware. Self-awareness is key. Kaya naman, okay guys, so bilang panghuli na lang, ano yung mga mensahe ninyo sa mga schoolmates natin about pop culture? Is it something that they should absorb, consume, or is it a way for them to actually create something new? Since popular culture is all about creating trends. So simulan natin kay Nel.
Para sa akin, yung kayo na pinag-usapan natin, no? So being part of the pop culture, sabi nga natin, andyan na yan. Hindi na yan mawawala kasi ito yung trends, ito yung laging kinukonsume natin. And we are into music, we are into fashion. Ang sa akin lang, on my part, parang just be responsible. Just select na sino yung ina-idolize mo. Kung ito ay nakakabuti sa'yo, nakapagpataas ng self-esteem, nakapagbigay sa'yo ng awareness, lalo na sa mga social and economic issues. And it can also give you yung tinatawag natin inclusivity. Lalo na yung awareness natin sa mga issues na pag-uusapan. And of course, to break the stereotypes.
Right,
no?
right.
Yun. So, just be responsible.
Yes.
And self-regulated dapat tayo lahat.
I love it. Be responsible consumer. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Cheska, ikaw naman.
Yes, ayan. Just to reiterate what I have mentioned earlier, diba? Everything is always okay in moderation. So that goes same sa paggamit ng social media. It's also better that we educate ourselves in media literacy so that we arm ourselves better with the content that we are consuming din, diba? Para hindi tayo maging vulnerable sa misinformation and other, hindi tayo masyado maging immersed din sa mga content na kinokonsume natin. So, ayun, self-regulation and live, laugh, love life.
I love it. May ganon, no? At bilang Pangulo, do you feel any pressure?
Yes, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Nasabi na nila lahat. Wala na akong masabi, guys. Ayun, ulitin ko na lang. Self-regulation and then know what you're consuming.
Love that also.
Especially if mahilig ka sa idols and if you follow personalities, no? They're people, they make mistakes. Don't parang copy everything they do, especially to the young viewers out there. And then enjoy kasi it's a different world. Parang we're entering into a different world. There's so many things you can discover through pop culture. It's exciting. Ayun, so take the good out of it and always take things with a grain of salt.
I love it!
Ang dami kong sinabi.
Very responsible consumers. Pero tama kayo guys, no? So parang sa mga schoolmates natin dyan, yung pop culture for us is a way for us to connect to each other. Kasi possible na kung ano yung gusto ng isa, yun din yung magugustuhan mo. It could be an entryway for a lot of connections and relationships, diba? Both maternal, whatever, relationships na yung usapan. But I think na pop culture is something na should be a force of good. Kasi when we are creating or when we are consuming, we're just on the receiving end of it. We have no influence on the moral compass also of what makes humanity evolve or progress, no? We're just going where everyone goes. So let's keep in mind na as consumers, we have brains of our own. So we also should respect also those on the other side, yung mga pop cultures and icons natin. There are people too, sabi mo nga, no, they have boundaries. And at the same time, let's make ourselves creators also, creators of the new trend. But when we make new trends, let's be responsible about it. So, yun lang naman guys. So, sa bawat usapin, sa bawat issue, may boses tayong mga kabataan. Sumali, makinig at makiisa dahil opinion natin ay mahalaga. Kaya naman sabay-sabay natin isigaw kahit pumuputok ang boses ko sa buong mundo. Schoolmates, may pakialam ka!
Sigaw ang